Recently, a California waiter had refused to serve a group of Latina customers until he saw their papers. Literally, papers, please. Now, this happened at a place called St. Marc in Huntington Beach, California. Now, apparently, according to the story, as a waiter had walked up to the table to get these women's orders, one of the women, Diana Carrillo, figured, hey, man, I would love to get a grilled cheese sandwich with bacon. That's not really important to the story. I just figured that it sounded really good. Kind of hungry. Now, however, when the waiter appeared, walked up to the table, he apparently said, hey, girls, before I can serve you, I need to see some identification. I need to make sure that you're actually from here. Wow. So, again, papers, please. I need to know that since you are Latina, since you don't look like us, well, I want to make sure that you're here legally before I can actually serve you. Now, of course, at the beginning, they were stunned. They're like, well, what's going on here? Here's my ID. I'm from here. I'm an American. And then later on, they realized, wait, did you just actually ask me that question? Well, what the hell? What's going on? You know what? We're not going to take this. We are going to go out there and we are going to talk to the manager about this because this is unacceptable. Now, the manager in this story, he actually did the right thing. I've got no problem with him. I actually kind of feel bad for him. Now, the women told him that he was, what had happened with the waiter. He ended up being super apologetic. He said, hey, look, we're sorry about this. Here, take the business card. Here's a meal. Go to a separate section, away from this guy and try to enjoy your meal. Okay. So he did damage control. Well, they decided, no. We're offended. We're not going to take this. This was some bullshit. We're not going to accept this. We're going to leave. Now, for a while, Diana, she kind of let it go, but it still bothered her, so she went and posted on Facebook. Now, when she posted that, it ended up going viral and actually reaching the restaurant itself. And the restaurant's management ended up contacting Miss Carrillo. Now, what they did is that, interestingly enough, they offered her a VIP experience at the restaurant, which I didn't even know they had. Of course, I've never been out there, so I wouldn't know. Now, they also pledged to donate 10% of the weekend's proceeds to a nonprofit organization of the group's choice. The four women declined the meal. However, they did ask the restaurant donate the money to the Orange County Immigrant Youth United. So now you might be wondering, okay, well, what happened to the employee? I mean, the women obviously they tried to compensate them for what had happened, and they tried to make it right. That's why I'm not so mad at the restaurant. So what happened to the employee? Kent Bearden, senior director of operations at St. Marc, told the Washington Post that the waiter who had asked for the women's IDs has been appropriately fired. He is shit canned. He is gone. He said it was the first time the employee had done anything like this, and he had never received so much as a write-up before. So they were super surprised this guy, who had a good record, would pull something so completely racist and horrific. Quote, I don't know if he had an agenda or not. My concern is that he violated a company policy. We're very specific about how we treat our guests, that an individual did not treat a table of guests to the expectations that we set forth in that company policy, and that caused him to be terminated. That is super weak sauce. That statement right there, super weak sauce. No, he should say it's against company policy to be a racist piece of shit. And that's what it is. Well, I don't know if he had an agenda or not. No, he clearly had an agenda. That agenda was racial profiling. Just saying. So I wish he would have come out stronger against that. Now, Bearden stressed that the employee's actions aren't something that you can't control. They are something that you can't control. The true measure is how you handle it as a company. I feel very proud of our team and how we tried to take a proactive approach, trying to create a positive out of this situation. Other than the super weak sauce thing that I just mentioned, they handled it fairly well. So, again, they did the right thing. They fired the guy. They even offered a VIP table. So, there's something. They tried to make it right. Now, the real problem here, and we've seen this before, is that you have people with racist views now becoming more comfortable with expressing those racist views in the open. You have people thanks to Trump, Sessions, and Stephen Bannon, who do have openly racial tendencies, well, now that they've achieved power, you have people thinking, great, now it's our time. We can actually say what we've been thinking secretly for such a long time. And nobody can say anything about it because now it's stylish, now it's in power. Racism is back, baby. And we're going to be as racist as we want. And we're going to racial profile it. I can say whatever I want to minorities. If I want to demand to see their papers, I can do so. That's my right as an American. I look at Trump. See, this is what racism being emboldened actually looks like. The same with the people at Starbucks yelling Trump because black employees didn't get their coffee, get them their coffee fast enough. Now, why would you yell Trump? I voted for Trump at a minority if that's not meant to intimidate said minority? I'm just saying. And then, of course, there's the assumption that, well, all black people, no black people voted for Trump. There were black Trump supporters. They did vote for her. Remember Diamond and Silk? Why would you scream Trump at a minority if there wasn't something to it? And that's the question that I always ask. And look, you have the other incidents of overt racism, right? And I think it's because they look at the administration right now and they look at the open racism happening in America as an enabler. And you got to wonder why they do that. Now, there is a positive thing about this situation. And what it is that it highlights a problem that was essentially existing underground. This country still has a lot of racist tendencies. And this election has shown that out. Okay? And this election has put these people in the spotlight. And when you put people like this in the spotlight with these horrible racist views, well, it makes them easier to challenge. Because then there are people that will try to deny this racism exists, but when it's out in the open, you can point to it and say, no, it does exist. There's your proof. That's what racism looks like. When you do that, you can't deny it anymore. And finally, the other good thing about this is that when you identify this problem, you can identify this racism and shine a light on it. It actually does make it easier for you to fix the problem. Instead of sending it back underground, we might actually be able to fix this problem. And that's the only good thing that I can find from any of these situations. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you want to see more like this, please hit the subscribe button below. And if you want to support truly independent progressive media, please consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/TYTNation.